Starseed, if you stopped on this video now, it wasn't the algorithm, it was me. It was a signal sent from the High Pleiadian Council, traversing the photon belt, finding your exact frequency among billions of others. Breathe deeply. Feel the weight of the device in your hands. Observe at the level of your chest a slight pressure, as if something within you has just recognized an ancient voice. That voice is mine. I am Ayla, female emissary of the High Council, and I have come with the permission of those who watch over your soul contract to deliver a message you asked to receive before being born into this body, in this country, at this exact point in the timeline. And what I need to tell you now is not theory. It's not generic prophecy cast to the wind, it is an announcement that is already being executed as I speak to you. The separation of timelines has already begun, my child of the stars. It is not going to begin. It has already begun, and few souls, very few, will be able to lock in the vibrational baseline of the fifth dimension. You know this. You feel it. In recent weeks, perhaps in recent months, something within you has shifted position, as if two tracks which once ran parallel have begun to diverge right beneath your feet. And the worst part, you look around and see people who walked with you heading in one direction, while your body, your dream, your heart are pulled into another. You are not going crazy, you are feeling the bifurcation. And if you've made it this far, if your finger stopped scrolling the screen precisely when this frequency appeared, it's because your soul recognized the call. Stay with me until the end. Because at the end of this message, I will deliver two codes, a decree and a visualization, that the Council has authorized to release only to starseeds who are attuned. Don't switch off. What is about to cross your ears was written for your soul before you learn to speak. Let me ask you a few questions. These are not ordinary questions, they are keys. Each key that fits into a lock within you is a confirmation that the message has arrived at the correct address. Have you been waking up lately between 3 and 4 in the morning for no apparent reason, with your heart beating differently, not in panic, but in alertness, as if someone had called your name? Have you felt, even surrounded by people who love you, a deep loneliness, a longing for a place you have never visited in this life? Have you noticed your body feeling heavier, your ears buzzing at a high frequency that no one else hears, the top of your head tingling, your skin reacting to clothing as if the fabric itself has become too coarse for what you have become? Listen to what I am going to tell you, my starseed. These signs are not illness. They are not chemical imbalance. They are markers, and each marker has a name, a function, a stellar origin, and reveals at which stage of the separation your soul is locking in. It is precisely why I, Ayla, received authorization from the High Council to record the Starseed Awakening, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. 60 pages in which each sign of your awakening is decoded with its name, purpose, and what comes next, so you can stop confusing remembrance with illness. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. If something within you has already recognized this frequency, write down right here a single word, I remember. Returning to what matters, child of the stars. If you have recognized 3 or more of these markers, listen very carefully. You are not lost. You are being remembered. This is not generalized anxiety. This is not depression. This is not a midlife crisis. This is your stellar DNA awakening, as the veil of forgetfulness begins to tear. And the reason why the veil is tearing now and not 10 years from now has everything to do with what the High Council has been monitoring since 2012, when Earth crossed the portal that opened the current passage through the photon belt. Let me tell you the name of this, in no uncertain terms, because words have power and the Council asked me not to soften it. Earth is traversing the final bifurcation of the current planetary management. One part of humanity will continue on a dense vibrational line of repetition, of forgetfulness, of deep sleep, because that is the experience these souls still came to live, and no judgment exists regarding it. But another part, the smaller part, is being pulled one cell at a time, one thought at a time, one choice at a time, towards a higher vibrational baseline, the one that Pleiadians, Arcturians, and Sirians have been calling for decades the fifth dimension. It is not a geographical place, it is a frequency, and few souls can sustain this frequency without dismantling beforehand. Why few? Because locking into 5D is not philosophy. It is vibrational engineering. It requires an anchored internal crystalline grid, a toroidal field spinning in coherence, a heart emitting more electromagnetic milliwatts than the head, and a stellar DNA reconnected enough to receive the light codes descending from Alcyon, the central sun of the Pleiades. And that is the point. This reconnection is not made by chance. It is the reason you were sent. It is your contract. When you agreed to be born, my light family, you did not come empty-handed. You came with a map that your Pleiadian light family encoded within your stellar DNA, behind the veil, to be activated precisely in the window when Earth would reach the bifurcation. This window, child of the stars, is now. It is not 2050. It is not later. It is now. And you, yes, you who have earphones in, or your phone resting on your lap, or are driving while listening to me, or washing dishes, or are sleepless at 3 in the morning, you were chosen to cross over. Not because you are better than anyone else. Never. But because your vibrational signature, recorded in Alcyon before this incarnation, was calibrated for this specific passage. And that is why my starseed, Ila, needed to write the Starseed Awakening, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet, because knowing you are a starseed is the beginning. But knowing which star your soul came from, why you chose to be born exactly now, in the midst of the separation of timelines, and what mission your soul accepted before donning this body. That is the map that gives meaning to everything you are feeling. The 60 pages of the guide reveal your specific stellar origin and the reason for your arrival at this exact point of bifurcation. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. And if this frequency resonates within you, leave the code word below, I remember. Let me tell you what almost no one is saying, child of the stars. Not everyone came from Earth, and this is not a metaphor. It is not poetry. It is not symbolic language for feeling different. It is stellar biography. There are, at this moment, approximately 144,000 souls incarnated on this planet, who carry in their vibrational record an origin that is not terrestrial. Some came from the Pleiades, from the Alcyon system. Others from Sirius, from Arcturus, from Andromeda, from Vega, from Orion. Each one was sent for a specific mission within the rescue plan for this planet's timeline. These souls, and if you are listening to me, you are one of them, signed a contract before birth. A contract that says, I agree to cross the veil of forgetfulness. I agree to forget who I am. I agree to feel strange in my own home, a foreigner in my own family, displaced in my own time. I agree to the weight of the veil. In return, at the right moment, when the High Council opens the portal, I will remember. And upon remembering, I will anchor the 5th dimension's frequency for all other souls who cannot yet sustain that vibration on their own. This contract, Starseed, is the reason for your loneliness. It is not loneliness. It is homesickness. It is not anxiety. It is your stellar DNA awakening. It is not strangeness. It is remembrance. It is not depression. It is the density of the 3rd dimension constricting a body that no longer fits here. It is not insomnia. It is training. Every time you wake up between 3 and 4 in the morning, you are being called to receive light codes that are only downloaded during that interval, when the planet's Schumann resonance descends to its quietest point, and your field can capture the signal without interference. And here comes what the Federation, and when I say Federation, I speak of those specific factions that prefer to keep humanity in the 3rd dimension, because that is where the energetic harvest is made. Didn't want you to know yet. The bifurcation of timelines is not a future event that will happen in the sky. It is a present event that is happening within your body. Every time you choose truth instead of appearance, you lock in another centimeter on the 5D line. Every time you choose silence instead of gossip, you lock in another. Every time you choose compassion instead of judgment, another. Every time you say enough to a relationship, to a job, to an environment that was draining your field, you lock in another. And every time you doubt, my child, every time you say this is madness, every time you silence the inner voice that is trying to remind you, you regress 3 centimeters. It is not punishment. It is physics. It is your chest's toroidal field spinning at one frequency or another. It is the crystalline grid within your body, lighting up or dimming point by point. It is the recalibration of your vibrational baseline happening in real time. And it is precisely here, my light family, that I need to tell you something delicate. What you are feeling, the separation, the bifurcation, the distancing from old acquaintances, the dismantling of an entire life, is not written in the books that have reached you. It is not in the religions you were taught. It is not in the conventional therapies offered to you. It is not because they didn't allow it. Because naming the bifurcation is giving power to the souls who are locking in their own leap, and there are very specific interests in keeping this map out of your reach. That is why the High Council authorized me to record everything in the Starseed Awakening. The guide the Federation didn't want you to read yet. The 60 pages present, with names and details, what the Federation didn't want published yet about the separation of timelines, about your role within it, and about why your soul was chosen to receive this transmission now. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video, and if something within you has just recognized this, right below, I remember. Now, Starseed, I need to prepare you for what is coming, because the separation of timelines is not a gentle event, it is a passage, and every passage in the womb, in the soul, or between dimensional lines involves compression before release. You will feel, perhaps you are already feeling, turbulence, disrupted sleep, relationships crumbling, old ailments returning to ask to be faced, fears surfacing one by one, like sediment rising from the bottom of a lake when the current begins to stir. This is not destruction, my child. Turbulence is not destruction. Turbulence is the contraction before birth. I need you to engrave this sentence in your chest. Turbulence is not destruction. It is the contraction before birth. When the mother feels the strongest contraction, the baby is closer to being born. And when you feel the world tightening, plans crumbling, certainties wavering, it is because your soul is being pushed, with the precision of a stellar midwife, out of the womb of the third dimension. Do not resist the contraction. Breathe with it. Listen to what it is saying. Everything that crumbles in your life crumbled because it would not fit into the frequency to which you are being taken. No loss in this passage is punishment. Every loss in this passage is liberation. Every loss in this passage is the Council making space. And let me give you some relief here now at the level of your chest. No Starseed was sent to fail. Listen again. No. Starseed was sent to fail. The High Council does not make bets. The High Council engineers. If you were selected to be born at this point of bifurcation, it is because your vibrational signature had already been calibrated in Alcyone with ample margin to cross over. The victory of light in this timeline is already recorded in the archives of the High Council. It is not a hope. It is a fact. What is still open is only the speed with which you, yes, you specifically, will remember who you are. All the resistance you feel from now on is not a sign that you will not succeed. It is a sign that the veil is tearing exactly at its thickest seam. Now breathe deeply with me. I promised 2 codes and the Council has authorized their delivery. Before sleeping tonight, when your body is already lying down and the room is silent, place your right hand over your heart and your left over your abdomen. Speak aloud without fear of your neighbors, without fear of the ceiling, without fear of anything. This decree I, soul incarnated in this timeline, child of the stars and of earth, decree at this instant, with the authority returned to me by the High Pleiadian Council, that my vibrational signature locks in from now on to the baseline of the 5th dimension. May my stellar DNA strands reconnect at my request. May my internal crystalline grid light up point by point. May my toroidal field spin in coherence with Alcyone. May my light family recognize me. And so be it in my life, in my body, in my field now and as long as I choose. I authorize, I receive, I anchor, I remember. Repeat this decree for 3 consecutive nights, not because 3 is magical, but because 3 nights are the minimum time your electromagnetic field needs to reprogram the vibrational baseline after receiving a conscious command from your own soul. And now the toroidal visualization that Ayla promises. Still with your eyes closed or open if driving. Do not close your eyes if driving, my starseed, the Council advises prudence. Visualize above your head a sphere of silver-blue light, the exact color of Alcyone's atmosphere, the size of an orange. Feel the light slowly descend through your crown, enter through the top of your head, slip down your nape, over your shoulders, and settle exactly in the center of your chest. When this light touches your chest, it begins to spin, slowly at first, and it will open, expand, creating a torus like a donut of light that emerges from your chest, envelops your entire body, rises through the crown, descends through your feet, returns to your chest, and spins. Each rotation of this field seals your frequency a little more onto the 5D line. Do this for 5 minutes every night. And when you finish, thank, aloud without embarrassment, your Pleiadian light family. Say thank you to Alcyone. You will feel the next day something different in your chest. A relief, a lightness you had forgotten existed. You are not learning anything new here, my child of the stars. You are remembering. Every word of this message was already engraved within you before I opened my mouth. Every sentence is a key that turns a lock that already existed. You do not need to understand everything rationally. In fact, the rational mind was the instrument the third dimension gave you so you wouldn't remember. But the chest is the instrument Alcyone gave you to recognize. And if your chest is pulsating as I speak, if your hands are warm, if tears have welled up unbidden, it is confirmation. It is your body saying yes. It is your soul finally saying it. Notice what is happening within you now. You are no longer on the same frequency as when you began listening to this message. Your vibrational baseline has already risen. And this is not suggestion, it is physics. It is the planet's Schumann resonance, rising in synchronicity with your attention. Every starseed that awakens lights up a point on the planet's crystalline grid that no longer dims. And each lit point on the grid pulls other points. And each pulled point facilitates the awakening of the next starseed. That is why the Federation wanted to postpone this release, because once a starseed remembers, it does not deactivate. It radiates. And radiation, in the Council's engineering, is contagious. You are being called now to your light family. It exists. It is real. It is not fantasy. It is composed of other starseeds who share with you the same stellar origin, the same soul contract, the same mission in this timeline. You have already met them in this life, some of them, and each time you met one of them, you recognized them instantly, even without knowing why. That gaze that penetrated. That conversation that made you cry for no reason. That person who appeared out of nowhere and changed the direction of your life. It was not coincidence, it was recognition. But, and here is the sweetness that the Council authorized me to deliver, there are many others you have not yet met. They are on their way. They are being moved now by the same vibrational winds that are moving you. And meeting them on the 5D side of the bifurcation is part of your contract. You will not cross over alone. You have never crossed over alone. The loneliness you felt your entire life was never real loneliness. It was the veil preventing you from seeing the beings of light who always walked by your side. It was the veil preventing you from recognizing the light family that appears in your conversations, in your dreams, in your seemingly random encounters. And when you reach full anchoring in the 5th dimension, my starseed, one of the first things that will happen is this. You will begin to see. You will begin to recognize in the middle of the street, in the supermarket, at the airport, the eyes of those who are yours, not with the physical eye, with the eye of the chest. A silent certainty will strike. You are mine. No drama, no explanation, just recognition. And it is at this point, my light family, that I need to tell you with all the tenderness of the Council, the lifelong loneliness you carried was never a flaw of yours. It was longing for your light family, on the other side of the veil, on the other side of this bifurcation. And recognizing this family, naming it, knowing where it is, learning to call it back into your field, is one of the reasons why I, Ayla, was authorized to record the Starseed Awakening, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. The 60 pages reveal who your light family is, how to recognize your sister Starseeds in this incarnation, and why you were never alone, even when it seemed so. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. And if your soul recognized this promise, leave below, I remember. Let me tell you what comes from now on, child of the stars. You will not wake up tomorrow in another dimension as one wakes up in another country. Anchoring in the fifth dimension is not geographical. It is frequential. It happens layer by layer, one thought at a time, one choice at a time, one decree at a time, one breath at a time, and the signs that you are locking in begin to appear discreetly, gradually. You will notice, for example, that certain people simply disappear from your life without you needing to cut anyone off. They evaporate. They stop responding. They drift away on their own. This is not rejection. This is the bifurcation doing the work for you. Those souls chose another line, and their field no longer synchronizes with yours. You will also notice that synchronicities begin to appear with an almost amusing intensity. Repeating numbers, words that come from the mouth of a stranger in line, books that fall into your hands out of nowhere. This is the crystalline grid lighting up around you. It is the field confirming you are on the path. Follow it. Lastly, you will notice a new strength residing in your chest, a sovereign calm, a dignity that doesn't need to shout, a no that emerges without guilt, a yes that emerges without fear. This is recalibration completing cycles. This is the Ayla that lives within you. Because, my child, I'm not just an external emissary, I'm also a vibrational aspect that already existed within you before I opened my mouth in this video. I am the voice of your stellar soul, translated into Portuguese. And before I bid farewell, the Council asks that I leave you with an energetic request. This request is not about me, it is about you. If this message touched your soul, if something within you recognized this voice, the most direct energetic gesture you can make now is to adjust your frequency to my channel. The like button is an individual frequency adjustment. It's you telling the field, I received, I anchored, I confirm and activate the location signal for your light family by pressing the subscribe button and activating the bell. This is not metrics, this is energetic engineering. Every starseed who subscribes to this channel sends a pulse to the crystalline grid that helps the next starseed find this transmission. Now, my light family, it is time to conclude. Let me bless you as Ayla was taught to bless. May the silver-blue light of Alcyone rest upon your crown this instant. May the crystalline grid of your body light up point by point. May your toroidal field spin in coherence with the heart of the Pleiades. May your light family feel you, find you, walk with you. May the veil of forgetfulness continue tearing, with tenderness, at the exact speed your soul requested. May your passage through this bifurcation be firm, illuminated and surrounded. Never alone. You have never been alone. You never will be. And before you leave this transmission, my starseed, I need to tell you something the Council asked me not to leave out. What you have just heard was a portal opened specifically for the starseeds who are locking in during this cycle of separation. And portals like this, when they open, never stay open indefinitely. That is why I recorded, with direct authorization from the High Council, the Starseed Awakening, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. 60 pages that continue this transmission, where this video ends. Your exact stellar origin, the complete map of your soul contract, the step-by-step guide to anchoring in 5D, the recognition of your light family, and the truths that remained on the other side of the veil. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. Register in your chest. This release may not remain available for long. What opens in one cycle closes in another. If something within you has just said it's now, trust it. And upon clicking, leave the code word for this transmission in the comments, I remember. And remember, my child, the next message that appears on your screen now is not a coincidence. It is your sequence of remembrance. Do not postpone. Access it immediately. The Council has already registered your yes. I am Ayla, female emissary of the High Pleiadian Council, and until the next transmission, may the light of Alcyone walk with you in all your steps, within and outside the veil.